Hello, friends. My name is Questo Enrico. I'm a Questo talking at a famous day people place. And tonight I come to you burdened with a time of transition, heavy with import, laden with the last hour and 21 minutes of the old year, around my neck like a giant iron chain, pulling me into the past. New Year's, a time for reflection, a time for, yeah, maybe I oughta. Those kind of thoughts enter the head and quickly are banished. Sounds hard. Whatever it is. So, I brought a little yellow pad of paper here with me to note down things that I need to note as I speak and interact with people in the chat. As I recall flickers of a moment, something I wanted to talk about, only to lose it again in a moment if I don't jot it down. So far, I've written don't on here, and then I forgot what I was going to say. Uh, um, oh, yeah. Don't forget. That wasn't what I was going to say. I don't know what I was going to say. I just got to title this list. Don't forget. All right. Let's just title the list now. First thing I wanted to say about, or put on the list, which I'll talk about later, is just list building time. If you have any topics you'd like to put onto the agenda here, please do let me know. A descriptive analysis of communications. Uh, the empirics of interperson something. I am so tired. I'm so tired I don't even know if I can do this without being prompted by the live chat. I've gotten so little sleep since Saturday. It's been a whirlwind. It's probably been like exactly a week now since I can't believe how quickly everything went from normal to Rachel living back in New York, and just instantly. It's crazy. Uh, Rather topsy turvy, in terms of keeping sense of yourself and your progression through time and space. Probably people are either out at New Year's Eve parties right now, or potentially they could be home from the New Year's Eve party and crashed out. What's not likely to happen is it'll have a bigger than usual turnout. I've noticed this for like Friday nights, Saturday nights too. It's smaller than usual turnout usually. And New Year's Eve is like turns whatever day it falls on into a Friday or a Saturday by virtue of it being a drinking holiday. So my dad was in there and he was talking about one of his army band friends old army bandmates recently died. We learned today that he died. And I feel quite a bit of increasing clarity regarding my dad, who he is, what he needs from me, which is basically to listen. He needs me to listen to him tell me about his varying TE plans. Like, so my mom has this TB test, and she got the first part of the test the other day, and you have to go back like 3 days later to get the reading on the test to find out if in fact you have tuberculosis. And I have a typing tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and tomorrow is New Year's Day. So my dad's made this incredibly complicated and also unnecessary plan regarding how we're going to deal with this, which is I'm going to drop him off before the typing and pick him up afterwards. Now, there are other elements of this plan that are going to happen when I'm not there that I nevertheless have to hear about. But we could have just gone after the typing. I said, I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to work tomorrow in Pasadena, although I'm pretty sure I am going to work tomorrow in Pasadena. And so they made this convoluted plan. Okay, it's flexible. I can move around. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to hear solutions. He likes problems. They will allow him to TE. He at least sort of likes it. I don't know if that's the word. He likes talking about all of the plans in case of all these various contingencies. And when I was talking to tonight about my mom, he said, well, she'll probably live to 100. Look at her relatives. Gladys lived into her 80s. Jane's grandmother lived till she was 99. Everyone in the family goes old. Okay, and I said, but Dad, you got to look at the speed of decay too. She's rapidly progressing downward. And he's like, I guess I don't really notice it or can't really tell because too many trees for the forest, And I thought, wow, that's a pretty self-aware ESTJ in some sense, but because he's antipolar, it's like he can't really ideationally do much with that insight there. What is that? Oh, I guess it's cars squealing tires. Jesus. Sounds like somebody screaming. Screaming like they were being murdered or something, but no, it's not. It's squealing tires. I noticed earlier today, as I was sitting here working on Summer Party, that my entire being was fully clenched. My sphincter was clenched. All my insides were clenched. It's like I was trying to support myself while sitting in this chair with my feet, trying to lift myself up a little bit. And I kept catching myself doing it over and over again. What's the meaning of this? I'll tell you right now. The meaning of this is I need to manage my presence in the real-time world when I am on amphetamines. New bottle, been off it for a bit. I'm not taking a ton of it or anything, but it makes me get it releases me from those aspects of self that are linked to the normal causal temporal reality, and that as a consequence get bored or restless or uncomfortable or need a change of metaphysical scenery. Which is to say, things that preclude me from naturally staying on task for a very long time. Uh, they link to the laborious nature of the physical task part of stuff, the actual doing of shit. So, like making a video such as Summer Party with Rachel's dancing and doing all the editing for that stuff or whatever, we're making a video and a song that's really just a complicated way of talking. So it's right up the any alley. Like as an any dom, I love to talk. And what's one way to talk? Well, I can make a song. That's a way of talking. It's a way of expressing myself anyway. Except here's the thing. It's not talking. And it is a way of expressing myself, but because it's a more complicated way of expressing myself, it requires more SE. You got to do a lot of things. It's laborious. If I want to express myself in a sentence, I just blah 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 blah, and out it comes to my mouth. It just spills out, and I don't have to really think about it or whatever. Even when I'm completely tired, no matter what it is, I can always just yammer yammer indefinitely. Now, in contrast, a more complicated form of expression, like a video or that's edited, or a song that's put together, that requires a much more present kind of self that's engaged in more focused kind of attention. As a consequence, it's more draining. I'm actually starting to sort of not wake up exactly, but settle into the streaming flow where I just chat about shit. Now that I got this pad of paper in front of me and drawing these pictures, it's easy. It's like when I'm looking at the screen and there's not really anybody there, I start thinking, I don't really have anything to talk about. What am I going to say? But if I'm drawing a picture, I just can just talk without really thinking about that stuff at all. So, what am I going to talk about then? Well, 6 years ago that I quit drinking and my life turned around dramatically. I mean, in some ways, it turned around not at all. It got worse. It's like in obvious ways, it actually got worse. In that after I quit drinking, before I quit drinking, I was a very successful professional working a good job that had a lot of status and paid well and all that stuff. And then after I quit drinking, my wife left me and I got fired in fairly short order. So the reason, of course, for that was both those parties liked liked the fact that being with me, having me on their team in that capacity as a somewhat partially managed drunk. It depends on from whose perspective you're looking at it from, but from my boss's perspective, pretty well managed. From my ex-wife's perspective, uh, it was a gift that kept on giving. It's like she liked to use that as a trade off, as like a leverage point to get trade offs from me and to, position to win arguments when she needed to. She knew I couldn't stand being shamed about my drinking more than anything else. I just couldn't stand it. It's just like, I know, I can't. I had no answer. There's no answer for it, right? I couldn't win the arguments. I knew I couldn't. So I guess as an ESFJ, she's sort of, all about, well, I mean, she's an interface type. It's all about using what's in front of you, kind of uh, making good decisions, interfacing with the human resources in front of her. Good decisions from a utilitarian perspective, anyway. She was able to successfully be with me and disagree with me and not lose the argument just by scaring me with her threat of chastising me for drinking, shaming me for something I had done while drunk. But I needed to go through that. It was important for me. Oh man, I am exhausted. I do want to wrap up some about 2019 before I close this out, though. 2019 has been my biggest growth year. Period. It's like you might say my biggest growth year was quitting drinking year. Well, I didn't really grow so much that year. Got I got back to where I got back to who I was on a almost an introductory level, but on a basic level. I didn't. That wasn't about growing. It was about recovering. Recovering is different from growing. They call it recovery, and for some stretches of time that you're not consuming that drug or alcohol that you had a problem with, you are recovering. Hambone says 15 minutes in and no chats. Only like 4 people. Yeah, nobody's here. It's New Year's Eve. Everybody's out, and this live's telling me to go to bed, probably. Well, here's the thing, Hambone. I didn't check the calendar. Naturally, that means that I sent out announcements and everything for a summer party. I said, hooray, hooray, everyone's coming to my summer party. And then I realized, shit, it's not even summer. It's winter time. What was I thinking? Now I've confused everybody. Happy New Year, Stephen Rain. Happy Bacon, I found New Year. Happy Eric. Hi. Everything's good with me right now. I'm just really tired. So I'm kind of like, man, things are shitty. But I know it's really just I'm tired. There's nothing shitty going on at all. It's all good. What's going to be even better is when right now, in this live stream, go get cigarettes and maybe like a super big gulp or something. And then come back here and go to bed. I need to get up at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow because my dad's cockamamie plan. Cockamamie. All right. Good night, everybody. Slabs, I hear you. I respect your wishes. Happy New Year. Yeah, I mean, it's as good as it can get. But it's still just not it's in its non-native ecosystem. I've gotta go before I get poo all over your face. Because I'm shooting poo up in the air. You better run away in case some of the poo I shoot on you gets into your hair. And then you'll be all covered up with poo while you're standing over there. Run, run, run away. Cause I'm pooing lost today. My poo is like a hay bale for you to sit on. The end.